So hey guys, it's me. So in this video, I will be interviewing top contender at 115 pounds, Andrew Moloney out of Australia, living in Australia, top level fighter. Before I say anything, I really want to thank him so much for doing this. It really meant a lot to me. He was a great guest to have on this interview and a very top level fighter. And if you haven't checked him out already, I would definitely recommend checking him out. Very talented. So yeah, enjoy the video. Thanks for watching, and it means a lot. First of all, as I said before, thank you so much. This really means a lot. My first question is, you just fought recently. Is there any potential future fight date on the horizon, if you know of any yet, or not at the moment?
Firstly, thanks for having me on, Max. It's a pleasure to be on your channel. Well done on doing such a great job. It's awesome to see someone so young like yourself doing great things. I'll be watching your channel grow over the years and looking forward to it. Yeah, that's right. So obviously, I lost my world title to Joshua Franco over in the bubble at MGM Grand in Vegas just a few weeks ago now, and that was heartbreaking. But I'm thankful that Top Rank have given me the opportunity to have a rematch with Franco. We're just waiting to find out when that date will be. Most likely in November. So I'm in the gym at the moment preparing for that and making sure that I can get my world title back. So I'm working hard at the moment.
Great. So in Australia, where you're at right now, there's a big upcoming fight between Jeff Horn and Tim Tszyu. I just wanted to quickly know who you're picking in that fight, since it's somewhat of a big fight where you are. I'm just intrigued who you're picking in that fight.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a big fight here in Australia. Hopefully it still goes ahead. The COVID's sort of picking up a little bit in certain areas of Australia. And there's some lockdowns sort of occurring at the moment. So hopefully that fight goes ahead. I've known Jeff Horn for a long time. We were on the Australian team together back in 2011, I believe, and travelled around the world. And just a great guy. So I really hope he can get the win in this fight and cement himself as one of the best Australian fighters of all time. He's win over Manny Pacquiao, did huge things for Australian boxing, and so really lifted the scene and the sport of boxing here in Australia. So for his sake, I hope he can win this fight and cement a great career.
Great. My next question is, since you're a fighter now, you're in the pro scene, to the younger fighters who want to become a fighter, what advice would you give to the younger generation?
Well, going back from my experience, as an amateur, I actually lost my first 7 fights. And at the time I was playing football, Australian rules football, and trying to box as well at the same time. So I was trying to do both and was only really boxing maybe 2 or 3 times a week at most, and obviously not, preparing 100% for those fights. So that's the reason why I lost those fights. And after losing 7, I made the decision to stop playing football and to focus 100% on boxing. And then when I did that, the results really started to change, and I went on to not lose a fight in Australia for another 4 or 5 years after that. And that just shows that, the results pay off if you prepare 100% and focus 100% on boxing, then or in anything really, you can do great things. But you really have to focus 100% on what you want to do. And if that's boxing, then give it 100% and the results will pay off. But boxing's not one of those sports where you can sort of be 50-50 or half in and sort of play around with it. It's obviously, it's just you in the ring. There's no one else who can save you. So you've got to put in the hard work to get the results.
Great answer. I also want to know from you, since you were young getting into boxing, what fighters would you recommend checking out and to study on as well for the younger generation?
Me personally, I love Mexican fighters. I love the style that they bring. My favorite is Julio Cesar Chavez. These days I love Canelo. I love Juan Manuel Marquez, Ricardo Lopez, Marco Antonio Barrera. They're the guys that I really watch a lot of. But I believe you need to watch a lot of different styles and pick what things you like and you think you can use in your style and try them in the gym. And you pick certain things from each fighter and little things, and you put that together as a puzzle to make up your own style. And, so watch lots of different styles, watch lots of different fighters. I'll watch different guys like for defense and stuff like that. I might watch Andre Ward and things like that. And for, offense, I'll watch those Mexican fighters that I spoke of. And, you pick certain things from different fighters and you create your own. And, I think it's underrated. You can learn a lot just from watching.
Great answer. Great answer. So you currently fight at 115. Is that an easy weight for you to make, or do you have any plans on moving up to 118 in the future?
No, I'm comfortable at 115 super flyweight. It's not an easy weight to make, but I believe that's where I'm at my best. That's where I'm still strong, but can make the weight, and that's where I plan on staying for the future.
When it comes to your boxing style, how would you describe the way you fight to people who haven't watched you before? What should they expect from you next time they see you in the ring?
Well, I believe I can do a little bit of everything. I'm sort of quite well-rounded, and I think that's one of my strengths is I can adjust to the situation, and I can box on the front foot or the back foot. I can sort of counterpunch or be aggressive, and I'm quite well-rounded. That's what I try and do. I try and improve on every area so that I'm not a one-dimensional fighter, and I think that's one of my strengths.
Great. So you had the opportunity to fight without fans. Not every fighter said they've been able to do that recently. How was it compared to fighting with fans, and are you okay with doing it more often in the future?
Yeah, Top Rank did an amazing job putting the whole bubble and the whole, getting boxing back up and running again so soon. And I really enjoyed the whole thing. It would have been great to have, a sold out arena, that's for sure. But once you're in the ring and, the fight starts, it's not that different at all. I mean, you'd land a shot, you're used to hearing the crowd cheer and things like that. But in terms of being in the fight, it really didn't affect me at all. And you're in the zone once the fight starts, and it's just you and your opponent, and you're obviously listening to your corner, but the crowd really doesn't play that much of an impact. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to do it again in the future. I hopefully, for everyone's sake, that the world gets back to normal soon and fans can attend the fights. And by November, I hope the fans are back in the arenas. But if they're not, then I've got no problem fighting again without fans.
Great answer as well. So this was, I believe, your first time fighting in the United States, right? Your last fight.
Yeah, first time as a professional. I fought in America, yeah. I fought over there in Chicago as an amateur, but, yeah, first time as a pro.
So did you enjoy fighting in America? And as your career goes on, would you like to fight in America more often?
Yeah, I love the whole, the fighting in America. That's been a dream of mine since I was a young kid, fighting at MGM Grand. And, that's America's the mecca of boxing. Us young professionals and fighters in Australia, that's our dream, is to make it over to America and fight on the big stage. And it was awesome to get that opportunity, and I look forward to fighting there many more times in my career. And I'm signed with Top Rank now, so I'm sure that will happen.
Great, as well, as I've been saying before. So as I said, this being your first fight in America, you are originally from Australia. What part of being Australian in your heritage do you think has helped you as a fighter?
Well, us Aussies, we're pretty tough. You'll see a lot of Aussie fighters over the years that, we give it our all in the ring, and, we're usually pretty aggressive fighters and, not afraid to get in a fight. And as you saw in my last fight, it was, things got pretty tough. I had 2 perforated eardrums and a broken nose and cut over my eye, and, we won't quit. We give it our all, and I continued to try and win the fight. And unfortunately, it wasn't my night, but I gave it everything I had, and I'm sure there's many things I can improve on in the rematch. So I look forward to that.
Yes, that was a great performance. Even in defeat, you fought a great fight, gave fans a great fight. Assuming for some reason that fight can't happen next, or assuming, everything goes well, what's a dream fight for you in your career? What's a fight you've always wanted to have one point down the line in your career?
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I really want this Franco fight. I really want to redeem that loss. I know that I was nowhere near the best version of myself in the ring that night, and I really want to right that wrong, and that's the fight that I want. So at the moment, that's my dream fight. But previously, before that fight, I spoke about the possibility of fighting Chocolatito at some stage, and that's definitely still a goal of mine and a dream to fight him. He's still the biggest name in the super flyweight division and a legend of the sport. You know, he's been one of the best fighters of the last decade. So to share the ring with him would be a dream come true.
That's, of course, any fighter in that division's dream. You know, Chocolatito been a pound-for-pound fighter for years. You know, getting in the ring would be a great opportunity for you. Now, something that I'm very intrigued in is, you know, what got you into boxing? What made you want to become a fighter?
Well, we first sort of fell in love with boxing or got the interest in boxing when we were about 10 years old. Santa Claus gave myself and my twin brother a pair of boxing gloves each for Christmas. And we used to put them on in the living room, and I think we'd seen a few Rocky movies or something, and we sort of knew what you do with the gloves. So we used to put them on and just beat each other up in the living room for hours, and just used to love it. And then a few years later, when we were 13, our dream at that stage was to play Australian rules football professionally. And we were playing football as young kids, and we've seen a lot of the professional teams were using boxing as like a way for extra fitness during the pre-season. So we decided that we'd give that a shot, and we went down to the local boxing gym just to get fit for football. At that stage, we had no plan on actually competing in the sport, but we did that, and we trained for boxing and really enjoyed it for another 3 years. So when we were 16 years old, we had our first fight, and from then on, just fell in love with the sport.
That's a really cool story, really, you know, unique story as well. You know, when it comes to your brother, Jason Moloney, who's, you know, a very good fighter as well, one division ahead of you, do you think him being your brother, getting all the sparring you've had with him, has helped you as a fighter?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. We've always been really competitive with each other in everything we do. Being twins, I think that's pretty common, and we every day in training we're pushing each other to get better and better. And if we go for a run, we're pushing each other to outdo each other, you know, on the running track, or, you know, in the gym, whether we're sparring or we're hitting the bag, we're always pushing each other to get better and better. And, you know, we've been doing that for 17 years and sparring each other and things like that. And, you know, each day we're trying to get better and better, and we've helped push each other to where we are now. And I've got no doubt that that's been a massive advantage for us being twins and having each other to bounce off and push each other to the next level.
Well, I think that's good, champ. Thank you so much for doing this interview. Before we wrap this up, do you want to tell any people watching the video any of your socials, anywhere to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on all social medias at Andrew Moloney. Moloney spelled Moloney. And you can find our websites www.teammoloney.com.au. So yeah, appreciate your support, and thank you, Max. It's a pleasure being part of your channel, and I look forward to watching you grow in the future and take over this scene. So well done on what you're doing, mate.
No problem, and thank you so much for doing this interview. It really meant a lot. I really appreciate it. Really excited to see your next fight, champ. I'll definitely be rooting for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
See you.